everyone, Alexa here from the blog, theduvallhomestead.com. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you how to make bison-stuffed acorn squash. This is a really hearty and delicious and cozy fall meal that will make you feel just warm inside. I love to switch what I'm making from summer into fall when the seasons change because the food that's available is different. So I like to eat what's in season. So in the summertime I do a lot of fish and chicken and barbecue, vegetables, that kind of thing. And then now I'm looking at squashes and soups and broth, pumpkin, just those warmer, heartier meals. And it's funny because in the summer I crave the lighter meals, and when we get to this time of year I'm just ready for the heavier ones. And in the summertime, you know, an acorn squash stuffed with bison and vegetables doesn't sound great to me, whereas in the wintertime a barbecue chicken with asparagus doesn't sound as good, even though I pretty much would have chicken and asparagus any time of year, but you know what I mean. So I'm going to show you how to make this recipe, and I hope you find inspiration for cooking with the seasons. So this recipe calls for 2 acorn squashes and 1 pound of meat. So about 1 pound of meat with the vegetables are going to fill 2 acorn squashes, but in the video I'm only making 1 because that's all I wanted to make in that moment, but we had enough to fill another one. So you're going to preheat the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, cut 2 acorn squashes in half and remove the seeds, and then drizzle the inside with avocado oil. I like to use a brush in this case because I find that when I drizzle I tend to miss the squash and it kind of gets all over, so I just like to use a brush instead. And season it with salt and pepper, and then roast it in the oven on a parchment lined baking tray for 20 to 30 minutes until it's cooked through. I especially like acorn squash because it is so small. The seeds are very easy to scoop out and it's just really pretty. It looks like a little flower. So if you haven't cooked with acorn squash before, I encourage you to try it. Of course, there are a lot of health benefits to eating squashes as well. I believe they're high in vitamin C, antioxidants, that kind of thing. So trying to eat your pumpkins, eat your decor as much as you can. That's what we like to do. I fill my shelves here, as you can see, with pumpkins and things that we can hopefully eat. So meanwhile, you're going to brown 1 pound of ground bison. Now you can also do beef or meat of choice, but I've been finding at the grocery store recently ground meat that has the organs in it, so like the liver and the heart, and this was one of those I think that I found and was like, okay, I'm gonna buy that. It's frozen, but it just is healthier for you because it has the organs in there as well. And if you're not a fan of eating the organs straight, it's nice to have it ground in with the meat. It's a good way to sneak it in. Then preheat a cast iron over medium-high heat and drizzle it with avocado oil. Saute onion, pepper, and tomatoes for about 5 minutes. So I did about half an onion here, about a cup of peppers, and a cup of tomatoes. And I seasoned it with a teaspoon of salt, fresh and cracked pepper, 2 teaspoons garlic powder, half a teaspoon onion powder, and 1 teaspoon each dried thyme and rosemary. I also like to add my favorite Kinder's The Blend seasoning here. Then add the meat back in the pan and add about a 1/4 cup of bone broth or more if the veggies and meat seem really dry. Then fill the squash with the meat and vegetable mixture. It will fill 2 whole acorn squashes or 4 halves. And of course, shred some cheese on top for a really delicious fall meal. Well, I hope you enjoyed this acorn squash roasted with bison and vegetables. I will have the full recipe and printable recipe card on the blog. I will leave the link in the description as soon as it's ready. And of course, you can always check back to the Duvallhomestead.com every week for a new farm-to-table recipe and homemade natural living. And I always have those printable recipe cards, so if you want to just save whatever you're seeing on this channel for later, which is what I do, and I just reference the recipe whenever I want to cook it, you can do that too. If you're brand new, please hit that subscribe button. Every week I post a new video on farm-to-table recipes and homemade natural living, and you don't want to miss it, so make sure you subscribe. Thank you so much for stopping by the Duvall Homestead.